What in the good gracious is happening? Good morning. Wow. I didn't even hit record. My phone just started recording while I was about to check and see what my hair looked like. So I guess we're just starting. I was just thinking how we're so far removed from the origin of why women behave a certain way and why men behave a certain way. We're so far removed from the organic origins of gender roles that people assign meaning to gender roles in modern society without thinking about the organic biological reason for why things happen the way that they did. Women make babies. Men do not. Men are hardwired differently than women. And I know in 2023 that's a really controversial thing to say, which makes no sense. But there's, gosh dang, y'all. It's not a controversial thing to say. At the end of the day, when you just track everything back to where gender roles started, it leads directly to biology. So when you say things like gender is a social construct, it's a social construct that originated from biology. Can things get twisted around in every society as humans generally tend to do things, especially when you have the time and opportunity to do so? Yes. In first world countries, we have the time and opportunity to twist things around because we have nothing better to do than twiddle our thumbs because we're not in survival mode. We're in thrival mode, right? Thrival. I just made that a word, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I just get so frustrated with females, and I'm sorry to pick on females, but I don't know any males except for males who are trying to get in between the legs of certain females, and they think that by spouting these opinions and ideologies that it's going to help them get where they want to go, which is hilarious because that's what men are hardwired to do and women are not hardwired to do. Think about which came first, the chicken or the egg. In this case, it's not a confusing question. Gender roles came about because of biology. It's not that gender roles came about because men imposed them on women. Women are simply different than men. And if you can't understand that, just think about it logically and track it backwards to the beginning of time. Track it backwards to how our bodies physiologically work. Men are the seed planters, right? They plant their seed. And so biologically, they are hardwired to, in survival mode, go around and plant their seed, which is why men have higher sex drive than women, which has been told in today's society that women have just as high of a sex drive as men do, but we don't. We don't, because while men are biologically hardwired to plant their seeds for survival purposes, and the more seeds you plant, the higher chances of your bloodline surviving. Women are the opposite. Women need to be selective, as women have to pick among the men who are the biggest and the strongest and the fastest because they want their bloodline to survive. My child has a greater chance of surviving if I mate with a man who can hunt for himself, who can protect me and my offspring. Therefore, my children will have that biologically built into them. Women are natural, selective beings, and that's the way it's always been. So for us to pretend in today's society that men and women are the same, that men and women have the same sex drives, and men and women want the same things in the dating world, and it's just to freaking fornicate, I just don't understand. This is such a big rant, and it's such a big topic, and I'm butchering it. I get so frustrated at the people who have manipulated women into thinking this way, because it's not natural. Live your life and do what you want to do. There's no judgment on that. But if you're living your life a certain way based on a lie, doesn't that matter? Doesn't that mean something to you? It should. What I don't understand is that we were raised knowing, I don't know, I got duped for a long time and then I was not duped anymore. So I don't blame people for being duped, but eventually once you get to a certain age, I don't understand how you don't realize like, oh, I got duped. I'm so frustrated for women. It sounds like I'm frustrated at women. And there's certain women, yeah, sure, like women who just dig their heels in and stuff. But I'm frustrated for women, generally speaking, not at women. And I feel like everyone comes off as being frustrated at women. And I don't want to come off that way. And I'm sorry, my passion comes off as being judgmental, and I don't want it to be. I just am passionate about it because I fell for the lie and I was manipulated for a long time too, and then I snapped out of it. And I want to help facilitate a space where women in particular can snap out of it. I'm so sorry, I'm making food right now and it's bubbling and it probably sounds really gross, and I apologize because like my hair, but I just want women to be able to make good choices. This has to, that's just not acceptable. It's like, it's not. I just want women to be able to live their life, not the life that the government told them to live, not the life that movies and media, the newscasters, our freaking social media, TV shows, chick flicks, all of these things that sculpt our mind without us even knowing if we're not paying attention. I just want women to actually choose the way that they live, not choose the way that they live based on incredibly skewed, manipulative pieces of information that we are given. Like the gender wage gap lie, that one kills me. That one kills me that there are still women out there who think that men get paid more than women doing the exact same job. It's just not true. It's just not true. And it's so unbelievably manipulative the way that statistic is presented. Yes, annually, men on average make more money than women do. But there are so many reasons for that. Women get pregnant and they take time off. Women choose lower paying jobs. Men choose higher paying jobs. Men are more willing to work more hours. Men are willing and physically able to work dangerous, high-paying jobs, hazardous jobs. And the only places where women are demanding equal representation are in jobs that are high-paying office jobs where you get to wear business suits and walk around feeling important all day, right? There's no women lobbying to be oil riggers where your life is on the line, right? Roofers, one of the hardest jobs in the world. Yes, I know being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world. I'm gonna argue that might be the most important job in the world, being a stay-at-home mother, because you're literally shaping the future generations of the world. But it is not the hardest job. But yeah, that statistic is told to young women all the time, and young women should be mad about it if it were true, but it's not freaking true. The pink tax, good Lord, that speaks to toxic capitalism, not the patriarchy. That speaks to the fact that women are willing to pay more money for things than men are. And so that's just good business, right? Women, if you don't want to pay the pink tax on things, stop buying things that are so damn expensive. Marketing puts these ideas into people's heads. People go, oh, I need that. That's going to make me happy. That's going to make me look cool. That's going to make me fill in the blank. And so people go out and buy it. And if you don't want to spend the extra money on women's clothing, then don't do it, because men don't. Yeah, this is muddled and messy, and I'm feeling feisty, and I'm sorry that I'm being feisty. I really want to be gentle about all of these things, but I'm fired up, and I'm fired up for people, not at people. The only people I'm fired up at are the liars, the narrative pushers, the manipulators. I'm mad at the manipulators. I'm not mad at you for being manipulated. That's unbelievably hypocritical, because I was once manipulated too. And the reason that I know that I was manipulated is because I was in a very manipulative relationship. My actual very first boyfriend was the most manipulative situation I've ever been in my entire life. And it's embarrassing looking back on it, the things that he got away with and the things that I did because he manipulated me. And it wasn't until I was out of that relationship, it wasn't until I woke up, right, that I realized, oh, I got lied to. I got duped. Holy shit. And that took 2 years for me to unpack. And the reason I know how deeply I was manipulated by these lies and by politicians and by both on the right and the left. Again, I am not, just because I have more hatred for leftists does not automatically mean that I fall on the right. Okay? That makes me infuriated that because I don't associate myself with the left anymore, that automatically means you're an alt-rightist neo-Nazi. One of the reasons I knew that I got manipulated by the left was the exact same feeling when I woke up from being manipulated in that relationship. You feel embarrassed beyond belief of like, how did that work on me? How did I fall for those lies? How did that man do to me what he did to me? How stupid was I to believe all of that? That's insane. Looking back at like hindsight 2020 is, it's very upsetting. It's very unnerving. It's very like, there's so many physical things that happen. And I'm sure anyone who's been manipulated knows exactly what I'm talking about, how stupid you feel because someone convinced you that the sky is green, right? When, if you look up for yourself, the sky is blue, but someone was able to convince you that the sky is green. Okay. And I'm sorry, babes, but the leftist ideology has convinced you that the sky is green on so many levels. Not all of them. Classical liberals, classical Democrats, the origin of being a liberal has nothing but creative and kind and compassionate roots on a human level. Okay. But Democrats hijacked those beautiful, I'm gonna cry because I'm still hormonal from my miscarriage. They hijacked those beautiful qualities about you because they're so easy to hijack because you're trusting and loving and wonderful and kind and artistic and creative and all of these things. They hijacked those beautiful things about you and they twisted them around in support of them. Because you are a beautiful and kind person, because you are compassionate, they were able to do that to you. I'm fired up for you. I want you to have control over your own thoughts and feelings. And if you end up choosing all the same thoughts and feelings that you have now because they've been imposed on you, fantastic. But you chose them. You chose them. Not the media, not the government, not woke television pushing these absolutely insane agendas onto you because you're young and impressionable and compassionate and creative and wonderful, but because you chose them for yourself. That's what I want. And this all started from thinking about the origins of gender roles because I just listened to so many conversations on the internet begrudgingly because I'm tired of listening to them. I'm tired of listening to men try and school women into feeling ashamed about the way that they've been coerced and manipulated into living their lives and wielding their bodies and wielding sex for money. I'm so tired of that conversation happening over and over and over again. That's not how you convince someone to live a life for themselves. It's by shaming them. It's not how that works. And I'm so tired of conservative women and awake women doing the exact same thing. My baby's awake, so I gotta go. But I hope you keep following my channel. I hope you keep listening to my insane rants. I hope the longer you pay attention to the things that I say, the more they'll make sense to you. I wish someone had had these conversations with me when I was young, at any point when I was lost, at any point when I was manipulated. And again, it's not about changing your mind. It's just about letting you know that you've been lied to. And maybe for you at the end of the day, after you wake up and you understand that you've only been fed a piece of the pie, and once you get a look at the whole pie and you can decide for yourself, maybe you'll still choose that same piece of pie, and that's fine. That is the freedom of being an American. But I just want you to know that there are other options and that there is an entire truth, not your truth, not their truth, not someone else's truth, objective, immovable truth. That's my goal. I don't mean to get fired up and make it sound like I'm mad at people other than the people who are manipulators. Not mad at the manipulated. I'm mad at the manipulators. But anyway, my son is up and I love him and I miss him when he goes down for his naps. So I'm going to go hang out with my baby. I love you. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. And I will see you next time. All right. Doodles.